Hi. Hello, Awake TV. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to let everybody come in, sit down, get comfortable. This is Chris Alicia, the host of Intentionality. This season, we're going to do things a little bit differently. This is season 3. I cannot believe I've already been doing this for 2 months already. That's absolutely insane. So please come in, tell me where you're coming in from. Again, my name is Chris Alicia. I'm coming live from Virginia. You can see this beautiful daylight we have behind me. This is my favorite part of spring, is those super, super long days when you just feel like you can get so much more accomplished. So the fact that it's 7 o'clock here in Virginia and it's still sunny outside is just heaven. It's just heaven. Only problem is we've had a weirdly cold spring. We had a low of 30 the other day. Super atypical for Virginia, but what can you do? It's still spring. I am so happy to be back with everybody this season. We had a couple days off. I got a couple interviews done in my time off that I'll be airing later in the season. And this season, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. So every season I like to do some different type of genre, right? So the first season was very much about the scientific side, talking about some scientific mysteries in the world. The fact that water has a memory and that you can encode information into it. Moreover, it reacts to your emotions as a human. The fact that cells that are born together can be split over long distances and reflect what's happening to the other cell, even if they're in totally different spots. Season 2 was all about looking at ancient traditions and the common universal key of 7 and how the different traditions across the world use 7 steps to show humanity how to ascend in a lifetime. And I went back and forth with a lot of people online about whether ascension was possible in one lifetime. I mean, God only knows, right? But those 7 steps were laid out in a way that we could follow. They were meant for us to grow and to test ourselves and continuously push the boundaries of who and what we thought we were. So season 3, I'm dedicating more towards people who might not have jumped into the spiritual bandwagon yet. I am dedicating this season to living with intention. So intentionality, the name of the show, all comes from the fact that there is a divine blueprint of the universe. If you look at mathematics, if you look at quantum physics, if you look at spirituality, if you look at religion, heck, if you even look at your own birth chart information, there's a method to the madness. The human body is a perfectly developed machine that can create other perfectly developed machines. And inside of our DNA, inside of the very eggs that a woman carries in her womb, is sacred geometrical shapes. The intentionality behind the universe shows, if you're looking, if you're open to that information, that everything in the universe is divinely created. I'm not talking about God. I'm not talking about building the earth in 7 days. I'm saying there's a method to everything. Everything has a purpose for being created the way that it was. And this show has been all about showing that, just giving you little tastes to get you interested in the subjects of quantum physics and sacred geometry. This season, I want to show you how to live with intention, with intentionality, how to live your life aligned to divine intention. And every week I'm going to be coming back with a different method to help you live a more joyful life, to help you release anger, to help you understand the relationships in your life, to improve the communications with your family, to release traumatic experiences that you carry around like a monkey on your shoulder. This season is all about expanding at the base level. So instead of talking about ascension on a grand scheme, it's an ascension that could take you many, many lifetimes to accomplish. This season is about making your life better practically, in a practical way, every single week. That's a giant claim. Luckily, the information doesn't come from me. It comes from much, much smarter people than me. So that is really what I want to focus on this season. And I'll tell you why this shift. For me, the ancient information and all the studies that I've done has led me to be who I am now. It has led me to be what I call a spiritual warrior. I have never been okay sitting on the sidelines. I have never been okay not getting involved. I have never been able to watch someone getting hurt or some injustice without jumping in the middle. Never, not even as a child. I had to come to terms with the fact that I was militant and joined the military because I wanted to protect people in a physical way, and the fact that I was spiritually connected to things, that I knew the world was bigger than what I could see, taste, feel, and touch. Coming to terms with those two sides of myself took a very, very long time, and it took a lot of information. And the information I'm sharing with you this season is the stuff that turned my life around. It turned me from an angry survivor of cruelty, of abuse, of so many different things, to a spiritual warrior. I am a warrior. And I had to find my own path. I had to find a method of spirituality that fit someone like me, someone who was maybe a little bit more, needed more logic. They needed to see proof a little bit more. That still felt the need to go out and fight. Spirituality, a lot of spirituality talks about being more passive. I mean, even the quote about Jesus, turn the other cheek. I'm not turning the other cheek. I'm not. But I had to learn how to let go of my anger. I had to learn to let go of my pain because they were drowning me. I could be spiritual in every possible way that I could think of. I could meditate, I could pray, I could do yoga, I could do qigong. But that weight in my heart that convinced me that I deserved to suffer had to be gotten rid of. I was still not happy. I was on a spiritual path and I was still not happy. When I started getting really deep into potentiality, it was just this last year. I started putting together all this information that I'd been studying for a decade. Information from every possible source I could get my hands on. And I shared some of that with you over the seasons, studying quantum physics, studying Edgar Cayce's material, Mary Magdalene's material, the Vedas, Buddhism. I've studied religion in at least 4 different classes, dream analysis, psychology, anthropology, anything I could get my hands on to understand why I could intellectually understand what I thought the world was. But I couldn't feel it. I had to find a way to align myself to the universe, to go with the flow of the current instead of constantly fighting against it. And for a long time, I didn't think that I could go with the current. I thought it was wrong that I was a fighter, that I was willing to verbally and physically stand up for what I thought was wrong. I could not be passive. I could not turn the other cheek. When I started looking at the patterns of the universe and seeing the divine creation to everything, to the way the planets move, to the way the cells grow in the human body, to the different functions of the organs in our body, to the colors of nature that act like color therapy for our moods and our emotions and our psychology. You go outside and you feel better. You want to know why? Color therapy. The greens, the blues, they invoke calmness and connection. When I started to look from my own pathway, I was able to see that I was also divinely created, that my being a warrior was not only not wrong, It was exactly who I was meant to be. Accepting the truth of who I was allowed me to start incorporating all of that information into a daily life. Incorporating intentionality into your daily life allows you to open up and expand in an incredibly fast pace because you're seeing the pattern of the universe. You are no longer a victim. Things do not happen to you. You start seeing everything as experiences. These are lessons that you're learning, and you're able to take that lesson, understand why you're going through it, and then release the emotional attachment to it. You keep the lesson, you keep the strength that you gained from the lesson, and you release the baggage that's trying to drown you. So this season is all about that. And I'm dedicating this season and pretty much all of my other work to to all the veterans, the first responders, the survivors of trauma, of abuse, the family members of those who have given so much of their lives to serve a higher purpose, whether that's protecting a sibling, protecting their cities, protecting their countries. We have a commonality in that we gave more of ourselves than we could. We gave without restraint because we believed in what we were doing. So this season is to help all of those who have given more than they had. They have given more than they will ever receive back from the world. This is to give you the steps that I've used to just be happy, to know who I am, to love who I am. I want to share this information with the world. And to all of my brothers and sisters out there who are serving overseas, who are serving at home, to their family members who have lost them for giant chunks of time, for the children that did not get to know their parents when they were growing up because they were constantly deployed or working, to anybody who puts their lives in danger to help others. Thank you so much for all that you do. You are an amazing person. You are divinely created. You are exactly who you are meant to be. And intentionality can prove that to you. It can prove to you that you're exactly who you're meant to be. So this season is all about that. It's about showing you different ways to find yourself and to live and flow with the current, to align your life so that you are not fighting anymore. The universe doesn't want you to have to fight all day. Sure as heck doesn't want you to suffer. But it's up to you to figure out the pattern behind it so that you can go with that pattern instead of fighting against it. Now, I hope that sounds like a good plan for everybody. Today, I am just going to do an overview of everything I'm going to cover this season. If you do have any questions, I've got my comments up. I've got my dad and Ev on here. Happy Mother's Day, Ev. Thank you so much for coming in. Love you guys. And to all the other mothers out there, thank you so much for all that you do for your families. I know how, well, I don't know. I don't have any kids. I can imagine how hard it is to have your family to take care of 24/7 right now. But I want to tell you, I saw some commercial or other, the commercials are about the quarantine right now. And it was just pictures of mothers doing things with their children, doing yoga with their babies, cooking while checking homework, blowing bubbles outside. The gift that you're getting right now to be able to bond with your children in a way that generations of women have not been able to do. Because we felt that we had to be superheroes, we have to work and take care of the family and 1,000 other things. Now that life has slowed down, even temporarily, I know your kids are absolutely blessed to have you and to be able to spend this extra time with you. So again, for all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Ev, happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much for all that you've done for this family, for the love and the lights that you bring, for how much you have cared for my father, for my sister and I, and for introducing us to your family and always making us feel welcome and loved. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day.